Dear students, good morning. Hope you are fine. Today's our offline class is about experimental evidence for chemical evolution. Based on the hypothesis proposed by Oparin and Haldane, S.L. Miller provided an experimental evidence of the chemical evolution in 1953 in a laboratory setup. S.L. Miller, an American scientist, created the similar conditions as described by Oparin and Haldane on a laboratory scale. Miller sealed in a spark chamber a mixture of water H2O, methane CH4, ammonia NH3, and hydrogen gas H2. He made arrangement for insertion of two electrodes to provide electrical energy, that is, simulation of lightning, to the spark chamber. Methane, ammonia, hydrogen were in the ratio of 2:1:2 and water vapor at 800 degrees Celsius. Electric sparks of 75,000 volt was provided to the mixture. The spark chamber was connected to another flask with arrangement for boiling water, that is, provision for evaporation. The other end of spark chamber was connected to a trap by a tube that passed through a condenser. An arrangement for condensation and collection of aqueous solution equivalent to rain and Haldane soap. The trap in turn was connected with the flask for boiling water, arrangement for circulation. The control apparatus contained every arrangement except that it was devoid of energy source. After 18 days, significant amount of the simple organic compounds, that is monomers, such as amino acids and peptide chains began to appear in the aqueous sample of the experimental set. Amino acids found were alanine, glycine, and aspartic acid. Therefore, the obvious inference was that abiotic synthesis of organic monomers occurred in the simulated experimental condition. By analogy, such synthesis could have occurred in the primitive atmospheric condition. Later on, many scientists repeated Miller's experiment using slightly different starting materials and UV radiation or other energy sources. All of them could successfully synthesize amino acids, and related compounds. With hydrogen cyanide HCN, even adenine and other nitrogen bases were produced. Several other scientists also conducted similar experiments by slightly changing the starting materials and sources of energy like UV radiation, and became successful in generating sugars like ribose, hexose, nitrogen bases like adenine, guanine, pigments, and fats. The meteorites strike the earth and their components fall on it. When the composition of meteorites was analyzed, they were found to contain the similar compounds as produced in the above experiments. It indicates that similar chemical reactions were taking place somewhere else also in the space. You can see this is the diagrammatic representation of Miller's experiment. You are seeing the electrodes inserted in the spark discharge. Spark discharge, there are the gases, methane, ammonia, water, and hydrogen. Then you see the outlet for water, that is water out. Then it is attached to the condenser. Then there is inlet for water, that is water in. Then there are water droplets. Lower to it is water containing organic compounds. Then there is liquid water in trap. Trap is connected to boiling water. And then there is the vacuum pump. This is the apparatus used by Miller for his experiment. With experimental demonstration and evidence of meteorites, the concept of chemical evolution, that is origin of complex organic molecules from simple inorganic molecules, was more or less accepted, but the second part of the conjectured story, that is origin of life forms from these organic compounds, was still not proved. Abiotic synthesis of biomolecules is studied under following headings. Number 1, it is chemogeny, which means synthesis of organic molecules by chemical reactions. Then second heading is it is biogeny. Biogeny is the formation of self-replicating biomolecules in broth, that is primordial hot soup or warm little pond. Third one is cosmogony. It is the evolution of various forms of life or diversification of existing groups. Thanks.